Monday, February 8th. There is the closing bell, guys, with the S&P up about 28 points. Stocks continue to pick up where they left off from last week. We're seeing a little pop into the final close. Can this rally continue on into tomorrow? Let's dive right in, break this market down, and then go over the top trending stocks of the day. With a relatively tight range through the night of 13 points, stocks didn't really get anything going. We opened the day and we were still relatively weak. Rolling back over, it wasn't until the final minutes of trade we're seeing an eruption higher. That psychological 3,900 level was playing a little bit of a resistance. Now, when we take a look at it on a daily, the S&P 500 inched higher, putting in a new all-time high at 3,908. We're just resting there right now in the final minutes of these future contracts. Now, when we cruise on over to the SPX, we were coming into this week expecting a small move of about 63 points. So getting 28 points in today's trade, we're almost halfway there. 39.50 was our upper edge. So again, we're starting the week off pretty strong. As you can see, last week we had that nice candle, and it was from there, it was just trend higher. Now this week we're expecting a smaller move. However, if we do see a stimulus deal that is very close to being signed or pushed through, throw this expected move out, as we're just going to erupt higher. But in the meantime, 39.50 should give us some stress if we do continue to climb there in tomorrow's session. Let's move on over and take a look at the NASDAQ. Taking a look at the NASDAQ, it too put in a new all-time high. Volume is still kind of low for the most part, but when we look at it on intraday, we got sold off pretty hard. And again, like the S&P, the NASDAQ is getting a nice pop in the final minutes of trade. Now, when we compare this to our big five, now the big five consists of Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, and Facebook. It was down today 0.6%. So we see the NASDAQ up 0.6. However, the big five is down 0.6. And you can see it puts stress on our S&P, but they're still up 28 points, which tells us everybody else is participating, picking up the weight. However, what was up out of the big five? Apple just inched green there at the final minutes, as well as Microsoft. And then we had Tesla. It's not in the big five, but it's in the NASDAQ, up 1.3% off the big news of adding Bitcoin to its balance sheet. Now, if these big five stocks in Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Facebook, they have some cash on reserves. If they follow what Tesla did and want to allocate a couple million, maybe a few billion into Bitcoin, watch out, because it could just explode their balance sheets and take these stocks to levels we've never seen before. Let's move on over and take a look at the Russell and see how the small caps did. Taking a look at the Russell 2000, up 2.5%. It was our leading index on the day, and as well, putting in a new all-time high. The Russell is just on fire. Now, where are we seeing this from? But now when we take a look at some of our sectors, well, the energy sector was up over 4%. You can just see it put a nice floor in, and it's on the verge of breaking out here on the pace to going higher. What else was up? Well, software stocks were up over 2%, and a lot of those are in the Russell. So we're having energy and software stocks helping power the Russell, as well as the financials up 1.25 in the same boat as the energy sector, on the verge of breaking out in this beautiful cup pattern, as well as technology up 1%. So all of our sectors that we look at are on the top of our list today, which tells us what can go wrong. The ones that we look at are up. However, what was down today? Well, utilities were down 0.7%. Nobody wants to own these utilities. They want the high, flashy tech stocks, energy, and financials. So with our equities leading to the upside today, how did the bonds break down? Taking a look at the bonds today, they are slightly green, a 0.009% at 166.28. So the bonds are trying to find a floor here. However, I don't see them going much higher. We look at it intraday. They saw a nice rally. However, when we throw it on a volume profile, can the bonds get back to this 169 level where we spent a lot of the time? You can see in this histogram. I don't know. I think 167 could become the new 169 the longer we kind of whip around this area. but we'll keep our eyes on what the bonds do. They were green, however, with the market. Let's move on over and take a look at the volatility index. Taking a look at the VIX futures, they were down close to 1% today, so the VIX can't catch a green day to save its life. However, the volume is slowing down here, so the VIX could be putting a short-term bottom in. We look at it intraday. It dumped in the final minutes, getting a little bought up here. How did the VVIX do? Well, the VVIX just puked in the final minutes of trade at 106.8. We look at it, the bigger picture here. It's going to take a lot to push this VVIX down, I think, closer to 100. I think if we see a stimulus deal get pushed through, that would be enough to take us down to the 100 level. Maybe potentially break that, but for the most part, with so much uncertainty in this environment, I think this 100 to 115 VVIX is about the norm in today's times. Let's cruise on over and take a look at the dollar and how did our commodities fare. Taking a look at the dollar index, it was down 0.009. We look at it intraday, it fell off pretty hard. It's trying to find a floor here, but the bigger picture here in the dollar, if we do see a $1.9 trillion stimulus deal, that's going to weaken the dollar, which should drive it back down to sub 90s. It did have a nice rally, but when we look at some of our commodities, crude oil today was up over 2%, putting in another 52-week all-time high at 58.14. Crude oil was a big reason why we saw the XLE on top today. How did other commodities like our metals do? Well, gold was up 1%. Seeing a little bit of a pop here at 18.30. Gold seeing a nice pop. However, I don't see it going much higher until the deal gets through. That should push gold higher, but ultimately the metals, we look at silver, we're up 1.5%, are going to need some stimulus to get things going, because this is a market that people are kind of fading for the metals and moving into Bitcoin. Speaking of Bitcoin, today was up 17%. If you don't know by now, look at this volume. Elon Musk and Tesla added $1.5 billion of Bitcoin on their balance sheets in January. I've been talking about this. If we see more and more companies, this could be the first domino falling. More and more companies start to do this. Bitcoin is going to fly, guys. We're sitting at 44.6 right now. That level might seem very high today, but come a year, maybe 2 years, we could be north of 100, 200, 300,000. You're going to be wishing you bought these levels. Any pullback, I recommend you buy and never sell. Just buy, hold, store it away, and forget about it. Bitcoin is an amazing store of value, and I don't see it going anywhere anytime soon. There you have it for the stock market breakdown. Now, we had another nice day. We're picking up from where we left off from Friday, and ultimately, it's going to come down to what's the stimulus deal news. It seems like this market is baking that in. It's just a matter of when is it going to happen? When are the consumers going to get their money? And when they do, you better believe they're going to be buying up stocks and buying up cryptos like Bitcoin and altcoins, because what else are they going to do with their money? Keeping your money in the bank is not working. If you don't have a lot of bills or rent, etc. to pay, put your money to work and put it into some assets that can appreciate for you. Other than that, let's move on over and take a look at some of the trending stocks of the day. And coming in at number 2, Square Inc. Today, Square Inc. was up over 8% with a market cap of $117 billion. Square is seeing a nice volume coming in it today. Now, what does Square do? Well, they enable its sellers to start, run, and grow their businesses. It combines software to enable their sellers to turn mobile devices and computing devices into payments and POS systems. Now, why is Square up? Well, it does have a company called Cash App. They are a Bitcoin stock. Now, Square is up just nicely due to Bitcoin booming today. Now, this was a stock that has made the list, and I've said this was a great stock around 220. It's going to continue to climb higher. The more Bitcoin climbs up, this stock will benefit. We look at it intraday, you see that surge. It kind of fizzled out here. When we throw it on an expected move, coming in this week, we expected $12.46. So a 2 standard deviation move puts us at around $265.30. So we're $5 below that. We got a dollar rejected from that level. So what makes the most sense for Square to cool off a bit, maybe come to that upper edge of 252.80. However, we don't know what Bitcoin's going to do. If Bitcoin keeps marching to 50K, this stock will benefit and continue to climb higher. Some big volume coming in it today. And this is a stock that I use their app on the regular to buy my Bitcoin. So if you're looking at a place to buy Bitcoin, Cash App is a very great app to buy Bitcoin and send it off onto your personal wallet. But Square is a stock I will keep endorsing, and I think if we do see it pull back to 250, 284, that's a great buy to get in for a mid to long-term hold. And coming in at the number one trending stock of the day goes to Marathon Patent Group. Today, Marathon was up 42% with a market cap of $3 billion. On a year to date, this stock is up 191%. It's just on fire. Now, what does Marathon do? Well, Marathon is a company that focuses on blockchain ecosystem and the generation of digital assets. The company is operating one mining facility in Quebec with the plans to opening additional mining facilities. This is a stock that also had bought in over 3,000 Bitcoin for its balance sheet. It's actually 4,813 for about $150 million. So it too is a stock that will benefit with the rise of Bitcoin. You can just see the volume come in it today. Elon is leading everybody forward by putting this on his balance sheet. Who are the next companies to come out? Now we just look at it intraday. It just trended higher through the day and continues to go higher. This is a mining company, and I really like the mining stocks. It could be a great investment. Now, when we throw this on an expected move, we are expecting $4.13. Now, obviously, with this news and surging 40%, we're well above that. A 2 Sigma move is $30.78, which we're on our way to a 3 Sigma move, which would be $34.91. So depending what Bitcoin does, $34.91, call it 35, could give it some stress. But if Bitcoin just powers through to 50K, who knows how high Bitcoin could go. This is a stock that you can throw all technicals out and all expected moves out because it will continue to move higher with Bitcoin. There you have it for the top trending stocks of the day. Did you get a chance to watch any of these Bitcoin related stocks? If not, comment a ticker down below that you're looking at going into tomorrow. And if you watched this far, I appreciate it, guys, when you hit that thumbs up button. It means a lot when you guys are liking my videos. And if you're watching for the very first time, I do these daily stock market breakdowns. Show some love and hit that subscribe button. A lot of my viewers are not subscribed, and it would mean a lot if you guys can just hit that button, taking the extra seconds. Other than that, any comments, questions, feedbacks, leave it down below and I'll get back to you. But on that note, I will see you in tomorrow's video. Have a great night. Take care. Peace!